Hi everyone, I am Goddess Green again. I'm going to be talking about how to know if you're a victim mode person. And when I say a victim mode person, I mean a person that spends the majority of their life just feeling like things are not going their way, and the world is just this dark, bleak place where all these crazy things are happening, and somehow you just seem to be underneath it. Like you just seem to be underneath life. You feel powerless. You don't feel like you can cause any change or create the life that you want. And you're mostly blaming the world or the way things are. And you don't feel that you could really be and have everything that you desire, everything that is already yours. The first way to know if you're living the life of a victim is to pay attention to your thoughts and the words that you're using all through the day. If you're using words like people or they, or that's just the way it is, or this is like that, and that is like this, and this is how that works, and this is what can happen and what cannot happen. This is how life works. You've turned life into this three-dimensional game of blocks, a lot of solid beliefs around, and anything that's solid is an obstacle and needs a lot of tools and instruments to break down. And anything that's solid takes time to fall apart and become more malleable and more easy to flow through. So when you notice that you're saying these words throughout the day, and most of your conversation is like this, you're not going to understand how that makes you a victim yet, because the beautiful thing about vibration is when you're living in a certain vibration, when you're living in a certain reality, the reality wants to sustain itself. So it gives you false evidence appearing as real. What you have to do is to want to no longer be a victim. And then when you have the desire to feel empowered, then you can start making different vibrational choices that will lead you to the reality where you feel empowered. Other words that you can pay attention to that you might be using throughout the day is should. If you find that you keep saying things like I should do this, or I should have done this, I should be here, I should be like this is the way things should be, this is the way this should work, this is the way this is, like in the previous list that I gave, then you're living like a victim, because you have a mentality where you're following the guidelines and the rules that have been given to you by the external world. You're not following the guidelines and the rules that are coming from within, which is your original compass, because that's what knows your true purpose, and that's what knows who you truly are. That's why it's given to you to guide you to where you are going and where you're going to be, and to show you your purpose and show you who you are. You listen to that which is you. You don't listen to anything that is not you. Doesn't matter how you perceive it to be, doesn't matter its title, doesn't matter its physical appearance, doesn't matter how it describes itself. You listen to that comes from within, because that's your inner guidance. That's your true guiding light. That's what knows who you are. That's you. Anything outside of you doesn't have the capability of understanding who you are, what your purpose is, your intentions, where you're coming from, where you stand, and where you're going. It's only looking at you from the surface and making its own judgments based on its own reality and its own intentions and its own purpose and its own desires and its own journey. So it has no sense of where you really are, because there's just so much that's going on for one being, in one being, and through one being, that it's another person is not capable of understanding it, and the external world is not capable of understanding that. So it cannot be your source of guidance. That's why, going back to the first one, that if you find that you're using words like they, them, others, people, referencing something outside of you, referencing guidance outside of you, discussing more about what's outside of you, then you've given the power and the importance and your focus to what's outside of you. You've given the power to an external guidance, and you've given that guidance value, importance, and therefore power. And so it's controlling your choices, and it's influencing you, even though you think you're just having a conversation. What you speak about is a vibration. What you speak about, you begin to develop emotions about. And once you have those emotions are energy. They become your energetic field, that become your point of attraction. So you might think you're just having a silly conversation, but you're creating your own point of attraction. You're creating your own reality from these conversations. Another way to spot the victim mode kind of thoughts are when you're going through the day and you notice that you're saying in your mind, you're explaining yourself a lot. It's almost like you feel like there's someone there with you, constantly questioning you, criticizing you, analyzing everything you're doing, judging you. But you're doing this to yourself. A lot of people have grown up in homes where someone was either very critical or judgmental, or whatever they were doing was analyzed in every minute, and they always felt like there was someone just constantly there at them. And if you're a person with a low vibration, or what we call an empath, a person that their frequency is not, they're not skilled at maintaining their own vibration. They haven't really fully owned who they are and become strong enough to stand firm in their alignment. So they go back and forth. This person says this, their vibration goes there, and they start to worry and wonder and get upset and have emotional responses to what this person said. And then another person says this and they have a response to that, and they go that way. And then something else happens here and they go that way too. Your vibration is all over the place. Whatever shows up and says and does, you go with it. You believe, you question, you ask, you even give it energy and attention, because you're not solid and secure in your vibration. That's what they call being secure. And you've been tuned to a frequency in your mind of judgment, being people that are judgmental. So you're judging yourself all the time, being critical, overanalyzing, trying to figure out, all these kinds of things. If you find that all through the day, that's a majority of what you're thinking, then you're a victim mode person. Another way of noticing if you've developed this victim mentality is the choices that you're making through the day. If you're choosing your food without really paying attention to what's in it, where it's coming from, what kind of food it is, if it's going to be what you need right now, if it's going to be good for you, you're letting someone else feed you. And you're giving the power of the fuel that you put into your body to someone else and to something else. No one is perfect. We cannot stay on top of every single thing that's going on in our life. Of course, we're going to make those mistakes. And of course, those times are going to come where we have to delegate and give other people things to do for us and trust. But if you're not as healthy as you want to be, and you don't have the stamina that you need, and you don't have the energy that you desire, but you're still not conscious of the kind of food that you're eating, you're not conscious of the fuel that's going into your body, then you have given your power away when it comes to your energy, your strength, your physical well-being, and a lot of times to your mental well-being and vibration, because it's all connected to food. You've given it away to an external source and you've become a victim. The clothes you wear, if you're dressing to please other people, if you're dressing because you want to be appropriate, or you don't want to be offensive, or you don't want to come off too sensual, or you're dimming yourself down somehow by the way you dress, or you don't really dress the way that you feel is who you are because you think it doesn't fit in. If you're considering something outside yourself before you put clothes on, you're a victim. You're not living life as your own expression. You're not using your choices, which is your clothes, and the way you decorate and design yourself and your environment as a way to express who you are and enjoy that. You're considering everything in the external world. This also applies to the places that you go and why you're going there. If you're in environments that you don't enjoy, but it's what people do and it's what people that you know do, so therefore you go, you're being false, you're being fake to yourself, and you're punishing yourself, and you're punishing your vibration, and you're the one that's going to suffer, because every time you do that, you give up a little bit of your power, each and every single time. And then you become used to giving away your power. And then you do it for so long that you don't even know what it feels like to be empowered anymore. You're a victim. You go to places that you have no interest in. You go to places that you have no desire to be in. You make excuses for going there, even though you know that you don't want to. If you wanted to, you would just go. You wouldn't make excuses. You wouldn't justify. You wouldn't explain. You wouldn't defend. You would just do what is inside you, what you feel. But then you have to defend, justify, explain, and do all these things because it's really not who you are and it's not really where you want to go. So every time you make that sacrifice of your desire for something external, or some excuse, or something you have to analyze, or what you think you should do, or what you think is right, then you've just given away your power and you become more of a victim. Of course, in another post I'll be talking about how to empower yourself again and the process of that. So if you notice that you've done things like this, one of the best ways is to start to listen to yourself, listen to how you feel, and only do what feels good. There's nothing to be concerned about. You're not gonna go around doing evil things to people because you're going to be feeling good. People that are feeling good are doing things that feel good, and they're just too happy and too good, feeling fucking good, to be doing anything to harm anyone. It's people that are not feeling good that cause harm. You want to feel good. So only do, go, be what feels good. You start to feel empowered again. You start to remember who you really are. Another way of noticing and finding out if you're a victim mode person is the things you tolerate. If you're tolerating conversations that are not pleasing, negative conversations, you've allowed yourself to be a victim. You've given your power away. If you're watching TV and you're watching negativity, you've given your power away, because you just tuned your mind to a frequency of negativity, which will create negative emotions within you, which will give you a negative emotional body and a negative energetic field that is going to attract more negativity into your life, because you've started to pay attention and focus on so much negativity that it's what you filled your mind with, that it's what you're now going to be expecting life to be like. And what you expect, you create. If you're in a negative environment, like I spoke about before, you've given your power away. Every time you make a choice that's much more positive, when you hang up on that friend that is negative, when you don't listen to their conversation anymore, when you stop dating people that are negative, when you stop going to places that are negative, when you also stop tolerating thoughts that are negative. It's not just tolerating negativity in the external world. You have to stop tolerating thoughts that are negative. You either ignore them and let them keep passing because they don't matter, or you shut it down and switch it to something positive. If you find yourself focused more on the thoughts, emotions, feelings, and actions of others more than yours, you're a victim. If you go somewhere hoping to influence the thoughts of others towards you, you're a victim. If you do something looking to have people think good things about you and feel good things about you to make yourself look good, you're a victim. You're more concerned with the thoughts of others and the emotions of others, so you make your actions and your life and your decisions and your emotions and your value on the perspective of others, because you have created a perception that the thoughts, emotions, feelings of others around you are more valuable than yours. You've become a victim. It doesn't matter who's in your presence, what they're doing, what your connection is. Your emotional well-being, your feelings, your thoughts are to be valued by you and only you. It's not anyone else's job to do that, and it's not your job to focus on theirs. This doesn't mean that, like I said, that people are going to be doing horrible things to each other, because once everyone is taking care of themselves and taking care of their vibration, there will be no lack, and there will be no one hurting, and there will be no more victims, because everyone will be in their full power. Again, pay attention to the thoughts and words throughout the day. Saying the word should or explaining yourself too much. Pay attention to the choices you're making every day. The choices on your food. Is it something that you chose or was given to you? Your choices of your clothes and the choices of places that you go. Pay attention to the conversations you're having, the conversations you're tolerating, the emotions you're tolerating, the thoughts you're tolerating, the negativity you're tolerating from others, and the negative environments you're tolerating. Pay attention to that. Once you give all those up for feeling good, you become more empowered and you drop the victim shit. Lastly, stop thinking about what other people are feeling, thinking, doing, perceiving, creating, unless it has something to serve you, unless it has something that is on your path, something that you feel inspired by, or something that is positive for you that you can use on your path for what you're creating. I am Goddess Green. Thank you, you powerful creators. This is always a lot of pleasure. I love you. I appreciate you.